Good morning, Azeroth. It is the 27th of March 2025. Grab your morning beverage and welcome to the stream. Today we'll be working up that raid renown track and pushing through the various LFR wings, slowly earning our way up to all those different rewards. Without any further ado, let's get stuck in. Hope you're doing well today. You're almost through the week. Take it steady, keep yourselves hydrated. You've got this. Let me double check the track itself. Again, overjoyed to find you could just view it from here rather than going into the raid. So I think we get a boss or two done, and then we get this 3% damage and healing buff. We'll see. Good morning, Teddy, in the chat. It's the 86th day of 2025. I will take your word for it. I'm not that quick at maths. It's wild when you put it into perspective like that. Feels like both more and less at the same time. How are you doing this morning, Teddy? Or even depending on your time zone. And Gallagio is now available in LFR. That should be more than tackleable from what we saw briefly of story mode. We'll check the journal just in case. Sure, there's something here. Sign up to all four, can we? Yep, we can. Beautiful. NG over time, activating big coils. Damage to all players. Detonating a bomb interrupts said coils. Okay, so it's working with all those bombs. That I don't remember from the story mode. Ads will turn up. Gets his mech at 50%. Lot of explosives. Okay, so you want to spread out. Marks players to explode, also more spread out. Okay. Of a big AoE. Doesn't look like it's a stacking one. Interact with a bomb. Take damage over time instead of immediate damage. Looks like we're just going to have to mainly spread out and then for this one at the bottom, see how the group reacts. There were a couple of bosses that I was worried about on other weeks of LFR because the mechanics looked a little more involved, but with a couple of folks already within the raid who knew what they were doing, it was handled well enough. I think we'll be fine. Let's see if there are any... Oh, there's no new world quest spawning. So I think while we wait, we get back to Undermine and we've just got to start farming more of that market research because of that glorious black trench coat. Now again, it feels like it's such a farm that I'm not going to be able to get it for long. Oh, we might get through the raid first. Let me just jump into this dumpster. Ooh. Miscellaneous weapon. Take it for the bank. Well, folks, except get us in. There we go. I'm going to have to trust you on those statistics, but that seems wild when you put it like that. As much as I struggle with maths and so many statistics, I do enjoy seeing them. Again, all I heard from the mythic variant and the race toward first was people were very unhappy that Gallagio kind of just fell over, especially when some of the earlier bosses seemed incredibly overtuned. Especially in recent years when folks were so happy with the last fight of Dragonflight, for example. I don't quite know how Ansurek felt like if I accidentally hit Wake of Ashes. That's fine. Ah, fair play, fair play. It's a lot of knowledge baked in if you don't play these days. Goodness me. WoW's one of those games where if you've played it for a long period and a period you've enjoyed, then at some point you always keep half an eye on it just to see where they're going. Think player housing's going to get you back in when that comes out end of the year, or is that not an aspect of the game you give a toss about? Or is that right? I'm gonna resub for the month. Now, fair enough. I've only seen Gallywix in the story mode, which again has a minimal amount of mechanics, which I understand. They're just trying to get people in it to see the story. I'd like a little bit more of the mechanics just to see it, but I know it's hard for getting the AI to get involved. So hopefully over time, as they do more with story mode, they can do a little bit more with that.
I don't have a target. It's too far away.
I think it depends how you play. I think a lot of folks these days double check a guide initially and then just go through. I think it's very different from a guild going through it without that and trying to learn the encounters as they go. On instant mounts like 2010. I'm gonna rack my brain. Surely they always have a cast time. Am I just misremembering completely? A long time ago in the RAF days. Well, that wasn't even RAF. RAF was 2008. That was like getting into Cataclysm in 2010.
Time to teach you young pups.
And then, so this one is big waves of trash. If you get on the ball, roll it around and pick up the ads. Otherwise, pretty straightforward. Let's stand on each other. Infinite bag space is just wishful thinking for any video game. Much on some big RPGs, I would have liked that. Your Elder Scrolls, your Witchers, that kind of thing. Baldur's Gate 3, like, just let me hold all the things. Where's the harm? Shaman only realm. Well, they'd have to get that rumored tank spec, or have it speculated on. It never actually showed up this patch, but there was still a lot of folks convinced that at some point during the War Within we were going to get Augment Evoker style spec drop. Shaman tank seemed to be the front runner using earth magic and that kind of thing. I don't necessarily see it happening, but it'd be pretty cool if it did. Hey, you know who got away? They're running around, bouncing. Don't hit me with your junk ball. It certainly does have a bit of a Final Fantasy vibe, but I think it works really well just making elements on the ground easier to read. Especially as someone who does more delves than he does raiding. It's much appreciated. Rather than sometimes, oh, a thing on the floor I could barely see just did me in. I mean, that's something Blizz has always done, is take elements from other games and iterate on them and slap them in their own. That was like the basis of WoW, learning from EverQuest or Dark Age of Camelot way back when. That's the good part about having a game like Final Fantasy be such a good competitor these days. Pushes WoW and their other games to be better. And that's only a net positive. The more games in a genre that are good, the better the genre gets. WoW. Hey, listen, I always said the only way I'd really get into pet battles is if they slapped it on the iPad. I couldn't see the whole game getting on the iPad, but I'm sure they'd love to do it. In the mobile market, you just print money. And there's always, especially with them being under Microsoft now, there's certainly going to be a push somewhere to try and get WoW on a console. Well, they managed it with Final Fantasy, so I think it's not impossible for WoW. Avoidance, versatility, and enhancement shaman to stand in the circles. Push the stats. Yeah, I'd love to see it. Shaman tanking without the need for a spec. There was always a can't remember the name. There was a guild of Death Knights that was like all blood Death Knights, and they made a point every patch of going through the raids with just blood Death Knights. I don't know if they're still going and doing that. A bit of leech. I find on some of the delve gear I've been getting, occasionally it'll roll with a little bit of leech. Not every time, but a little bit. No matter what the game. Absolutely adore having just a little bit of lifesteal. Just a little bit. Apparently I've been doing so on Monster Hunter Wilds. Like my comfy sets. Get our renown track. Beautiful. What else we got? Not an update. Transmog. Transmog, transmog. Explosive halfstone. We try for the need. I like that there's just halfstones added in here now. 13! Garbage. There's always been a call for that minutia of customization again, back in, like, when you could reforge stuff. I think, as someone who didn't really engage with the gear game that much, it's hard for me to get too invested by it. But I can completely understand folks' desire for it. Leech kit makes you sick. Is that a good sick or bad sick? Leech makes me resub. Well, I can only hope some appears for you. Oh dear. Is that Teddy? Again, I don't... My understanding, or rather care to understand about stats, has never been that great. Like, when I try and do a character for PvP, I take a look at what stats are recommended and what people are saying about them, try and get a gist of it. But again, other than this expansion, I haven't cared in years about stats, but now that I'm playing, you know, pushing delves and trying to do a little bit more of the aspirational solo content, I find myself having to give a bit more of a shit. Just a little bit. Nope, get out of that circle. God damn it. I didn't hurt that much, that was fine. Sell all the gear. These mobs down. Lovely jabbly. When was the next one, right? It was Sprocket Monger. How much Diablo build was that one then for the first game? I never played the first one. I only dabbled in the second. It was Diablo 3 that got me into both Diablo and ARPGs forevermore thereafter. Another genre to endlessly hunt for pants. I remember Spinning Barbarian, which I didn't like, but people always loved. And otherwise, focusing stuff on specific moves and whatnot. I'm excited for later this year, at some point when Path of Exile 2 gets out of early access, we'll be giving that a go. No Rest for the Wicked, you may have heard of, which is the ARPG with a bit of souls in it. Played a touch of the early access of that before I started streaming. Really enjoyed it. And they've just had a giant content update as well, like doubling what they've got. Ah, I see what you mean. It's quite a claim. You need to be a Diablo player to get my WoW build. And I like more out of their builds and going out of your way to do something either ridiculous or unique. Lost Vikings. Oh, man. I think I first encountered Lost Vikings on, like... I can't remember the occasion. It was like a relative took me and my folks to Disneyland when we were really, really young. It was, I think we paid for like first class or something. Very fancy. Never flown that before or since. And they had little video game consoles with all kinds of games on them there. Old games. And Lost Vikings was one of those on there. And I played through them on the plane. It was a good laugh. It was nice to see them in Heroes of the Storm. No, straight up weapon damage. I see. Now, I never got around to like Blackthorn or what was the other one? Ridge Racer, I believe. See them go back to some of those someday. Hard to see if they ever have the justification to do so, but again, under Microsoft, who knows? It's all possibilities. Much as I'd sooner see a return to RTS. Ow, big blob. Oh, it's the conveyor belt guy next. Now I get you. Yep, I was so young, I wasn't looking for an arcade there, but might not have even been there when I went. To be fair. Fascinating to learn, though. Does it have a lot of variety in it? There's an arcade, not locally, you know, an hour or two away, that I go to somewhat infrequently. Occasional friend's birthday and whatnot. It's a joy to go back and see all those different old arcade machines. It's great because downstairs they have a load of pinball machines. Separate room where you can go and just, you know, get pizza and burgers, that kind of thing. 2 floors in that room. And on the second floor, you're looking out down over where people are ordering food. And there are like 60-inch screens up on the wall. You go request a controller at the desk. And you can play, they only had 3 games on there. You can play Tekken 7. You can play Mario Kart, or you can play FIFA. So you're just able to see people going up on these. And it was great because you can kind of walk up like, here, fight me on Tekken. And then across the way, they have pinball machines and more arcadey games like basketball hoops and stuff like that. A load of the like light gun games, Time Crisis, Dance Dance Revolution, all of that jazz. Then a floor up, you get more arcade machines. Well, beyond that, you get like more modern like fighting games, some setups for folks to play like Mario Kart and Smash. And then a little bit further, you get a load of VR setup, which was my first experiences with VR. Gotta say, could not get over how much I enjoyed Beat Saber. Over and over again. One reason I'd get VR, just to play Beat Saber forever. And I don't know why, there's something harkening back to my youth and loving DDR on the PlayStation 1, the old dance map. It destroyed your pocket as a kid, I would certainly feel that. Oh. Fortunately, this arcade, it's like you pay an entry fee and then you get to play everything for free for as long as you like. Yeah, nightmare if it was still quarters. Get off the conveyor belt, Barrow. What are you doing? Alright, we just have to watch for when more crap ends up on the field or if any of those ads spawn. Yeah, I'd like to go a little more often, but not realistic at the moment. We'll see at some point. Maybe one day I move a little closer to an arcade, get the opportunity to go a little more often. You know, there was a younger fellow working there who was always like, oh, you've got to try and come on Fridays. Fridays is no kids' day. You don't get kids running around and screaming all the time, and you can actually meet people and talk about games. It's like, we'll have to see. Went on like about an hour talking about the state of Destiny and where Warframe was at by comparison, because it was when the CEO of Destiny had just laid off a load of people while sharing how expensive his car collection was, and we're all there rolling his eyes like, scumbag. Oh, Altered Beast, I absolutely... I think I first played that on like Xbox Live Arcade, I can't imagine how many coins that would have taken from me back then. Oh, you were there in the boom of it all. The inception. I think that even catches when, like, the Odyssey first came out. The old vet. I think that must be why, even for me, it's wild to see, since my first consoles, what I played when I was growing up, from like the Sega Genesis to, as I say, the Odyssey, which my grandfather had, old ass joysticks, to like, what the first one we properly got into in the N64. So where we are these days, the inception of the internet and just where the industry's at, it must have been wild to have been there from the very beginning, Teddy. Like when I hear the giant bomb folks talk about Jeff Gerstmann and specifically these days, how things used to work, it's always fascinating. See? Different experiences leading into it then. Hey, there it goes.
Nice, nice.
Give us your stuff.
Now,
Did that give us enough rep for a level up? It did. So that has us on the raid track for 3% more damage and healing. We'll take it. And that's account wide, which is pretty nice. What do we got here? Not an upgrade. The delve stuff's just better. We hit transmog and hope for the best, but we're near likely to get it, especially in these early days of LFR. Alright, let's head out. We got 3 more wings to get through this morning. Have a swig of his beverage. Make sure you're all doing the same out there. You keep yourselves hydrated. Any rares about? There's one up there. I still need to Google the fastest way to farm up the Dark Fuse tickets here. Get said trench coat. I'll get there at some point. It's probably this bit over here. A lot of these Dark Fuse folks spawn pretty quick. Poink. Oh, poorly timed. Oh well, if we're in rid. Sure, we at least loot the ones that went down. To be fair, given how far mobile games have come, I wouldn't call it dirty. There was a point when I was younger I probably would have, but honestly, monetization aside, it's like, you see stuff like Genshin Impact and that kind of thing, and it's like, they're actually making video games now. Regardless of, you know, they've realized, oh, all these microtransactions and gacha bollocks will sell better if we make a better video game. There's a lot of porting old series over to iPads and stuff. At one point, wanted to play through Baldur's Gate 2 on an iPad. Well, that'd be a good idea. The car and the drive mechanic aren't bad. I wish the customization for it had come out a little sooner. Because currently I've only got a couple of bits to like change the turbo speed boost and... Oh, we're just ignoring that dude, are we? We're just running around that dude.
Now watch and learn how a real goblin takes
Fortnite's car is the top selling car of the year, basically. That doesn't surprise me. Still wild to me, Fortnite being the juggernaut it is. I remember when they were talking about it in hushed words at Epic's office, back when Cliffy B was still there. And just all the scuttlebutt around it, and it being a PvE thing. How we got to the point of it turning into a battle royale after the success of PUBG and then becoming a behemoth on its own is absolutely wild. And every now and then I hear a bit of news about Fortnite, or I have a look in at what's recently been added, and it blows my mind. I imagine if I was much younger and that was, you know, that was my game, not WoW, that was the every day with friends on a regular basis, growing up with that. Not to mention all the bloody collabs. And spending birthday money on V-Bucks. How that could turn in the air. Pardon me. I imagine they're discussing mechanics. It's going to be difficult with the chat off, but we'll see. We'll just follow suit. We've managed on all of the other fights so far. We will see how the Chrome King goes. I do love the design of the mech just having the cigar. And that was in the vein of all the like survival games that was coming out. It was in the same vein of like Rust and stuff like that, except I believe H1 had... Was that one of the zombie ones? For me, I've just never been a big fan of zombies, but I know it was very much enjoyed by folks. And those zombies for me have always just been one of those things where, yeah, it can be fun to mow a few down, but I don't want that to be my whole video game. Like in a fantasy setting, I don't mind smiting a few zombies, but if that's all we do, then
Time to die, chumps.
Nothing's perfect, I suppose. As long as you have a load of fun memories with it. Okay, so I just need to be aware we need to be moving out of the way.
Bust out the big bombs, boy.
Mind that.
Blast
A good leaderboard can really keep you, especially depending on the size of your community and if it's a regular server, it'll keep you invested with folks all playing through together. And the bombs. Might as well pop my little gem. Like 15 strength.
Bust out the big bombs, boy.
Oh man, I can't remember the last time I cared about a crosshair. Like the Modern Warfare days.
Warm regards.
Wee. Your small targets.
You want a face full of rain? Move your feet.
I haven't got decently into a multiplayer shooter for quite some time.
Hey, get it.
And I don't mean like, you know, all the hero shooters that have been coming out seem a little more popular these days. Don't juice it. Got this ad. But like a proper old-fashioned shooter. I say old-fashioned, which feels weird when you're talking about Call of Duty or Counter-Strike, but
It's too far away.
I know it was always one of those genres that I enjoyed. Halo's probably the one I enjoyed the most, even though that's not necessarily modern military, but I am very excited to play Doom the Dark Ages, and again, that's a different beast all of its own. Closest I'll come to for a shooter in a while. I've been playing Kill Knight on the evenings. We got through the normal difficulty, the final boss at the end of like the 5th level, which was really intense and took the better part of those 2 hours of streaming it. And then it dropped a final boss on me. I was like, oh shit. Suddenly boss out of nowhere.
Get those bombs in a good spot.
And then I got it down one phase. Was like, okay, there'll be a second phase. And there was. Struggled through the second phase. Was like, oh, thank goodness. Well, that was a fucking good fight, wasn't it? And then suddenly a third phase and I lost my mind. Died. And very kindly, the game moved me back to an earlier phase in the fight rather than the entire bloody level again. Oh.
Hey, get it here. It's alive.
Oh, Overwatch was a delight. When I was living away with folks, we had 6 screens set up, all on Xboxes, in the living room, all playing together. Oh, it was a joyous time. And honestly, I was still somewhat alright with Overwatch 2 until they cancelled the PvE stuff. I was like, I will grind this battle pass. I'll earn this Junker Queen skin. She's fun to play. Because then I'll be able to use this outfit in the PvE, right? And it's gone. And I no longer care at all. I think it's still fun. I thought Marvel Rivals was fun. But just on their own. Not into it these days. Sometimes Teddy arm wrestling's the kind of thing I just occasionally pops up in a YouTube short.
What you think
People get real into it.
I
Hulk Hogan I only know through cultural osmosis. And folks just going, brother! And doing that repeatedly over and over again. He's in his mech. How many reses do we have? 8 combat reses. I'm going to get some people up.
Now you've done it. I'm the last boss you'll ever see.
the irony of that statement, Gallywix. Now that one, Teddy, that one. I believe you said last time you were in the stream as well, I'm going to be skeptical. I'm going to be a little bit skeptical. Very cool if true. But you'll have to forgive me for being skeptical on the internet. Oh, crowd, what's happening? Okay, just dodge everyone's beams, that's okay. The other person's dead on the other side. Can't get to them yet. Ow! Huh. I'm not quite sure what hit me. Hey, a lot of casting's going on. Oh, thank you. Very kind, very kind. I need to keep an eye on whatever did me in there. It was like an electric wave, but I didn't see a blue on the floor anywhere. Okay, now I'm shooting some rockets. There we go. I don't know if I had to aim that rocket at him or nothing. I just moved it out of the way. Oh, these are all new mechanics. Okay, okay, focus up. Got that coil over there. That seems important on those controls. I'm locking in for a moment, trying to make sure I don't beef it at the end here. Oh, that's two separate explosions. Oh boy. Oh, we've used all the combat reses. Everyone's burning over time. Less healers means more burning. Can do a bit of off healing, I suppose. Okay, that's what got me. That's what got me. Oh shit. New controllers for what time? I'm only catching bits. Microsoft were making some new controllers. Come on, Gallywix, down you get, down you get. I think the combat reses must be tied to everyone in the raid. Hey kid, moving on screen. I mean, it'd be innovative. We've seen your cutscene. Gallitech limited edition weapon. Fascinating. I got way better, but that's fine. Grab transmog, grab transmog. What are these? I'll grab these. Except the other one. Loot the body. Yep, we're all good, we're all good. Keyboard rumble. And ironically, it would be something interesting, but very silly.
What now?
No, I agree. It's not a crazy idea. Tomorrow, getting rumble on your keyboard. I don't know. I don't know enough technically, right, to know how big what causes a controller to rumble, like the device therein is. Did you put it in a mouse? Game has no rumble, but a controller does. Very silly indeed. It's like everyone thought Sony's DualSense, they were hyping up a lot about their rumble stuff on the PS5's controllers, and for a few games it sounded like it worked out really well and it did make a tactile difference and was very interesting. But then it kind of stopped being relevant. I think when Rumble's implemented well, you can... They got run over. They are now dead bits of meat. Delightful.
Ah, great. New plan. Champions, take care of her.
No, but especially for shooters, I feel like Rumble's still pretty important. Get that feel, that tactile joy. Oh. Oh, it's a Warbound coin. Huh. For a set piece. Cool. Didn't even realize. I will have to be sending that to the war bank later. I'm a nosy at everyone. Where's that horse thing come from? Oh, I remember that. Just a shop toy. Trying to nosy at everyone's transmogs. It's an interesting looking one there. Otherwise, we've got anniversary sets. Look at that bit of that mage tier set. Spiky head. Look what they're doing with the bones on the offset. Very nice. Dude's got big spider. And has gone very blue and shiny. Honestly, I've never been big. I couldn't comment. I was never that big on Final Fantasy. Like, to the point where, and this will upset Final Fantasy fans. My first proper Final Fantasy game was 13. And that one was not regarded very highly. And even then, I got past what was like a 40-hour tutorial and was like, do you know what? I'm good. This isn't for me. JRPGs has never really been my... But I've enjoyed a couple over the years, but it's not been something I get proper excited about. But there's a few games that I'd want to give a go. Rumble's cheating in chess. That doesn't surprise me. I'm sure, wasn't there... Didn't someone actually use something like that to cheat in chess at one point? They had like something in their pocket or in their outfit somewhere that would vibrate or rumble based on specific moves that indicate how to play from someone elsewhere. I'm sure I read about that at some point a good number of years ago. Oh, I've got a soft spot for the GameCube. I love the GameCube. And all my friend groups were playing other consoles. The GameCube was just... That's where I was. It was a great bit of fun. Loads of great games on there. I feel like it gets overlooked. Decent amount of power to it too. It's just, it's Nintendo, so of course said power didn't really get utilised that often. Get these robots. No repairing. Get the interrupt. Beautiful. No, when was... You might know this, given your age. When was Rumble, like, first introduced to a console or controller? Right, I remember the N64 getting Rumble packs. PS1, probably a built-in Rumble. Right, maybe? I got the PS1 a little later on in its life cycle, but... Stretching back a good number of years for my butchered memory to recall. Bikers are back, don't stand in the lane. Kill the biker when it comes in, steal his bike, ram it into the tank. Skywalker's headset. Ow. My bike. Real in quotation marks. And more mechanics. Nearly there, don't let them repair it though. Okay, she's out of the tank. Which means she's dead. Beautiful.
Nice work.
Transmog, transmog, transmog,
That's
transmog.
one nuisance out of the way.
Good job, morons. While you were playing
Right, 3 more bosses to do.
my crew was moving in. Thanks for the extra time.
Great. And the gallagio.
I only remember the Odyssey's joysticks having the singular button. It was just the stick and one red button on the side. That's all I remember from joysticks. He's like, right, we're figuring out ways to avoid any and all ads. God damn it. It's wild today to think of just how more buttons at players' disposal and the desire to have things remapped and customized. When, as you say, you were working with so few way back when. Wow, with the keypad. I mean, I'm sure at one point that was pretty feasible. And depending on, you know, if you were building your own macros and ways for buttons to interact with each other. No, not suitable for long play, but I imagine for... It's a casual getting on, you're probably fine. Who needs the auto-run key? 100%. Oh. I get annoyed when I went to play an MMO just over the years of trying out other stuff and it didn't have an auto-run. Livid. Especially on some of the more grind-heavy ones.
Wants a fight? We'll give it to him.
And we blow up the door.
Fire in the hole!
Look who made it. Feast your eyes on the gallagio.
At least it's a very... I agree that it can be a long run, but I feel as though at least it's very full. You know what I mean? We're in fancy areas. There's a lot of different mobs to fight. I don't mind it too much. I see the potential of this area and think they need to do the whole golden saucer thing from Final Fantasy. Repurpose this whole thing. Some patches down the line. Remove the turns, keep the distance. Aye, everyone auto-running through raid. No, I genuinely think there's a lot they could do with this space if they wanted to do something like that and make a like mini-game zone in the same vein as the Golden Saucer. Efficient-loving players would, I'd agree. Folks who love efficiency, I'd much rather my world be interesting and curved. I certainly think there's a larger portion of the player base that would be willing to admit that. I'd be like, make it all flat, straight lines. Flat Azeroth. Oh no. What have we done? And the beams. A dirt bike track, just well trodden by the feet of adventurers over and over and over again. Wait, did they ever remove follow? I thought follow was still in the game. I can check. Click on this Dragonborn. Still there? Unless auto follow was something different. Improving it for sure. You would always... I'm trying to remember if it was in old dungeons or LFRs or battlegrounds. If you notice someone on follow, trying to get them stuck on the environment behind you. Oh no, Teddy, oh no. Like a runner. We'll just take it one step further, side-scrolling well. I'd never pay much credit to that. I think people who just straight up are like, oh, that game, like, the games you play sucks. It's like, shut up. People enjoy what they want to enjoy. Especially when it's not exactly coming from, I think when folks usually say stuff like that, it's never coming from a place of actual critique or knowing if a game is good or bad. It is just being contrary for the bloody sake of it. Play what you enjoy. Have fun. Conversely, if you're not having fun on a game, stop playing it. Captain potions. What, like enlarge, reduce style perk? I'm trying to remember.
Go on.
I think a lot of stuff like that just got rolled into toys these days.
Odds don't look so
They'll go bigger, go smaller, I'm unsure.
Something tells me this one's rigged.
Let the
Okay, we know this slot machine boss has mechanics to interact with where you've got to line up symbols, but I will wait and see. Anyone else in the raid knows what they're doing. I'd really not like to cock it up.
I need to get closer.
I think that problem's certainly exemplified when you look at all the story NPCs and they tower above us and are just massive, even when they're the same race. I think that's always been an immersion problem in WoW. I get why they do it. You know, you want your story characters to stand out next to a horde of player characters, but it's still silly. Force players to strafe. We'll do it at some point. Cool Terra Moonkin. Always liked that one.
ready to win
It's
big.
too far away.
I'd be hesitant to say anything killed WoW, but I get the feeling. No, I've always liked strafing. Still do it very often. Spins to win, kill the ad. Far enough away that I don't pick up whatever funky buff it has. Oh, it's hitting the boss with the bus, and then that triggers one of the other outcomes. So I imagine on the high difficulties you have to pick very specific outcomes and work around it. Well, mind the coin. Good. Don't know what the big Tesla coil does, but it's fine. I know it shoots fire for one, but seems like you can interact with it, but I ain't gonna touch it. I don't know. I ain't gonna touch it. Pop up some mitigation. Whatever dots are coming in. And it's gone. Beautiful. Oh, crap on the floor. Bring the ad down. It's fun when fights had the possibility of guilds being creative and using a single tank or less healers or more healers. Or, as I say, it's always fun to hear stories like the one where it's the whole Death Knight guild. Even though I suppose that's the opposite of one tank, that's every tank. And that's some of the more interesting strategies when I hear about stuff like the Race Toward First or the various clears over the years. When people have used interesting stuff to surprise rather, and subvert developer expectations. That aren't exploits, quote unquote, but it's just clever use of game mechanics. I think there is a distinction to draw there in line. Huzzah for the pretty fireworks. Very flashy boss, if nothing else. It just makes me hope they do something with the zone one day. But a lot of dev work to reapply zone at one point. Don't stand in the lightning. With that, I don't remember much of Karazhan. That was one of the... I met my first guild, my first proper guild through Karazhan in the very early days. I can't remember how I ended up joining that group to begin with, but talking to folks, got on Ventrilo of all things. Got invited to play along. Oh, delightful stuff.
I'm gonna take it out of your sorry green hide, Gallagio.
I guess we struck a nerve.
All right,
Come
one more boss in this wing. The group that way, stick together. I think I must have been like putting in. I don't remember being attuned at the time. I had mixed feelings on tune. On the one hand, I could see why it was an interesting gameplay loop that slowed down how quickly people chewed through content to say, right, before you get into the raid, do this grind beforehand, right? But nowadays it would, like, people would just call it time gating, surely. Because all you're doing is, like, essentially grinding to fill up a bar to then gain access to a raid. I can't see them ever bringing it back in a way where that works anymore. The game and the industry is just in a different place, I suppose. If you want that, you know, that's what Classic's there for. I don't think they could get away with it in the modern game. Not in the same way. You'd have to do something real funky with it. Oh, that teleporter got set up. Very nice. Only really matters if you're doing it in non-LFR, but that's fine. Mind the rabbits. Scumbags. Putting poison bombs on rabbits. It's graceful behaviour.
I need to get closer.
Okay, and we just have the... Now this boss fight I actually like quite a lot. The twin-headed ogre, one side being a shaman, one side being a mob boss. Very cool design. To some extent. Like, I try and think back to Olden Axe Rammus. The number of bosses per wing were about the same, but it took longer. I don't think numbers-wise it's that much different. Like, the Death Knight Quarter had 2 or 3 bosses. Like, it's been a long time since I was in there. Then the other one, which was like... Cheers, a blob, and that polarizing guy. Thaddeus, I think it was. Thaddeus? Or Kobolds. Then you have the End Wing with Kel'Thuzad, which was like Saphiron and then Kel'Thuzad. I remember the 4 Horsemen being a fascinating fight. Right, which side is the raid wanting to start on? Left or right? I guess we're starting on this side. Well, the next tier is in the next raid coming. We're guessing something ethereal at the moment. I think there's still some trash loot. You just have to get lucky. I can't remember these days where Mythic raiding was sat. I think it was locked to 20 people, but then Heroic and under, it was a little more it was flexible. Not as stringent as it used to be. I'm slipping and sliding. Each mob pack should have 25 mobs. Nightmare. Absolute nightmare. You're a fiend, Teddy. Absolute fiend. Make players suffer. It's just your calling card at the moment. We gotta move him. We gotta move him. We gotta move him. Oh, he's gonna have that bar full. There we go. The ad. The other ad. Stack. Beautiful. Where'd that enemy flew across the map go? I think we're fine. I couldn't tell you when it comes to gear and stats. I couldn't tell you. All I knew is versatility was meant to be PvP only. Or rather, what you'd use in PvP and the stat you need the most, and that's kind of it. That's all I know. Always like haste because more cooldown is good. Generally speaking. But certainly with the way the catalyst works, if I like use it to make a piece of PvP gear and turn it into a tier set, I don't always get versatility. I'd love to be able to reforge it to kind of guarantee, or at least keep spending currency to get that versatility back for PvP. Because you still want your tier set. On the boss. I haven't played for a while. How are you confident in the stat allocations you're after, bub? You might just be messing with it. I don't have enough intel to know. And frosty bits. That's a stack. It's a stack, team. That's a stack. Now it's just a few of us trapped in here with this elemental. They weren't paying attention. Now that elemental's out and wreaking havoc. He's gonna go down. But that was sloppy. Always, especially in LFR, like a boss gets low and people just completely start ignoring mechanics. It'd be crazy if he wipes them all. Only hitting things once. That reminds me of like old when Shaman could use two-handed weapons. That I miss. I thought that was really cool. And go. You needed a tank and enough people to be in there with that elemental. It's alright though, we got some. That just leaves one more wing. And we're sorted. Let's have a swig of his beverage. Do the same out there. Keep yourselves hydrated. There, smugglers. Give me your stuff. Give me your delicious market research. I want my trench coat. Singular market research. Oh, it's upsetting. I need to look up a guide on how people are farming this in a way that is somewhat efficient. I need it in my life. Cheers for coming by and watching already, Teddies. Nice to have you, bub. You take care of yourself now. I assume you mean by that you're heading off, but you know. Oh, pardon me. Still going to be a good number of weeks of chunking through LFR. The only way I'm raising that currency track. It's track 5, though. I don't know if the amount per week is going up. 4 was 2,500, so if it's 2,500 a time, then each week I get about a renown and a half, maybe 2. And that's maybe 2. Hang on. Another week. It's 2 per week. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe about 8 weeks. That gets us all the way to 20 through LFR alone. Which isn't bad. Again, there aren't any crazy transmog rewards I'm after, so I'm not too bothered about fully maxing it out. I wonder if that's going to work in retrospect. Like, if you go and do a mythic run of the Gallagio in 3 years' time, or what have you, and solo it, will you get that renown track going? Is it locked to the expansion? I don't know. So, obviously, the raid having a renown track is a new thing. So how it actually works going forwards is going to be a bit of a question mark. Well, stuff respawns around here pretty quickly, so at least that's something. Give me my trench coat. You absolute swine. I can't believe they've done this. Get me back. There we go. I'm gonna loot those bodies though. Not gonna stop me. Curse you. No market research, no trench coat for me. How many am I currently sat on? 170. So that's another 500 rep, which isn't even getting as close to friendly yet. Oh boy.
I need to get closer.
So far. So much grind. Thank God that side quest gave us at least the brown trench coat. You know, the trench coat life is still there. It's possible. My younger self will be overjoyed it exists. Hey, come on, Gizzit. Oh, I need to check that chat thing, don't I? Just little bits of repeatable stuff to get more Valor Stones. It seems like you can get it multiple times through the week. We'd already done the join a cartel thing, so that must just refresh when you log in or do something. I'm not quite sure.
It's too far away.
I meant to say, I caught up with Daredevil. I was about a week or so behind, so episodes 5 and 6. So spoilers for those not gone through. Again, a lot of the more past years of Marvel stuff has been very more missed than hit, and I haven't watched all of it, but Daredevil for the Netflix days I really enjoyed. And these last 2 episodes have both been really good for 2 very different reasons. 5's essentially a bank heist, and it's such a standalone, self-contained story. I just thought it worked wonderfully. It was really enjoyable to watch. Felt very neatly wrapped with a bow by the end of it. So just even just as a standalone episode, highly recommend it. And then 6 was very much, we are building up to the culmination of all the themes the show is putting across and this story of both Kingpin and Matt trying desperately to stay out of the worlds they've left, but just being pulled back in by the end of that episode. It was really good stuff. I know recently as well, just on the Marvel vein, well, it's been a while since I've seen one of the movies. They did tease the casting of the next big Avengers movie. Which for the most part I'm like, yeah, alright, and Downey Jr.'s back, and there's Doomsday, and there's implications for Secret Wars, and comic stuff I know sod all about. Alright. And they're going down the list of cast members, right, just doing the, like, director-chair type thing for the cast to sit in. And then they're like, Patrick Stewart, and I'm like, oh, hello. Ian McKellen, oh, hello. Kelsey Graham, old beast? Holy shit, old school X-Men. Then they had old Mystique and old Cyclops, and I'm just going, well, shit, I'll be watching that movie just for them. That's like, even before that first set of Marvel Spider-Man, I think X-Men came first and good old huge jacked man. Channing Tatum as well, so Gambit's going to be back. Oh, delightful. And I have my criticisms about Deadpool and Wolverine, but I love Hugh Jackman. I love Wolverine. I wish it was more of a Wolverine movie than a Deadpool movie, but there you go. It was a lot of fun. I'm really... just the opportunity to have those old actors at it again for a proper MCU showing. I think there's a lot of potential there, and I'm excited to see where it all ends up. They might flop it and just ruin everything horribly, but gods, I hope so. Not I hope they ruin it, I hope it's good. There's the Russo brothers again, but apparently the films they've done since Avengers have not gone over too well. And the little bit of headlines I saw.
It's too far away.
I'm just not much of a movie buff these days. Like, one of those other giant series is Dune, and I've not watched them. I've just not got around to watching them, you know? I think they're streaming now, like the first and second one. And there's sort of a big show that I need to get around to, which is Wheel of Time as well, which someone who's been a One Piece fan for a long time, there's a lot of comparisons with the two. Like, oh, they're both gigantic and take X amount of time, and the more you invest, the crazier and better it gets kind of thing. Don't necessarily know how the show lines up to the books, but I'd be curious to give it a go. Seems folks have liked it. And I think there's a big difference between book, live action, and in One Piece case, manga and anime. Well, the live action One Piece was fun. It was a good time. I enjoyed it. Did better than most adaptations ever bloody do. Some, like, the showrunner is taking a break after this next season. Says maybe they'll be back, but I know that that kind of news always makes you go, ooh, I hope we're all right. You know what I mean? You're always a little like, I sure hope they're not in trouble going on. We'll have to see. We're off. Don't move too much so we don't get electrocuted. The last time we did this fight, I got one shot by the monkey's beam. So I have to avoid it. Gorilla's beam, rather. Somebody went down. It's early enough in the fight. Ow. Doff move too much. On your feet, get fighting. Time for clash. What are we doing? We do a little bit of damage to the T-Rex. Okay. Bit of movement. Bit of going. Crap. Again. Not watching the part. Who went down? Where are they? On this side. You can get them. Everyone's on the other side. Can't get them. He didn't want the res. They're taking the opportunity to go to the bathroom. Oh no, he's up. Good, good. Okay, stay on the gorilla. People's health's got a little bit snazzy there. I do a little bit of off healing.
It's too far away.
Was a bit worried. More people start dropping. There's one in range for me. Oh, nice. TH went down.
I could hear that crowd from all the way out here. Just don't let the fame go to your
Transmog,
head.
transmog, greed. Grab the other bits. I didn't see the... Didn't get any renown for that one, did we? Maybe there's a limit to how much you can get each week. I still clear all 4 wings, but it'd be a bit annoying if there were. Well, I suppose then maybe... I don't know, if you wanted to max it out, like you really cared about one of the rewards, you'd do like LFR, then you do normal, then you do heroic, then you do mythic, and all would be done, sorted, and fine. Druid, you've doomed us. And then everyone pulled stuff anyway, it didn't even matter. Always trying to find paths to just avoid fighting anything. At some point, it is less stressful just to fight the things. It's quicker. Just let's not all try and muck about. Just have the fight. Get it done. Nice, quick, and easy. Sorted. Rather than try and be silly beggars about it. Who's the last boss here? Oh, it's the jumpy puzzle. Not jumpy puzzle. You know what I mean. There's the big sound waves. I have to stand on the lightning bit and go, whoo!
I'm out of range. It's too far away. I need to get closer.
Accidentally hitting caps lock and not shift.
It's too far away. I need to get closer.
Very good. We do this one, then I think I take a quick bio break, and then I get this little dungeon done on follower mode for just a little more rep.
Uh-oh, looks like we got a party foul in the back.
Didn't interrupt the pipe man. Beautiful. Skiggy Muckheim. Oh, goblin names. Oh, it just despawned? Question mark? Couldn't you tell? Look at me out. I need to really do something about my seating arrangement and where things are set up. It's a little fiddly. Again, when you very stupidly bought a big, wide, curved screen, which I don't recommend, by the way. It's been way more trouble than it's worth. Especially with dual monitors going on. And for all the difficulty streaming, it's been a nightmare. Where, boss? Did we just get screwed? Oh, no, there he is. And we're in. It's just keeping those sound towers.
I need to get closer.
I don't remember there being mobs in this fight. Other than the towers. Maybe I'm wrong. Druid cat just taking a cannon to the head. That last fight, Death Knight, you're not doing anything. You're not getting a combat res if you don't get to moving. Up and down this way. an eye on them in the background. Okay, it's time. Run, people! Run! Or die. Ooh, we barely got it. That other tank needs to get back up. Can't even res him yet. Wait until all the jumpy happens. Oh, they're already up. That's alright. Beautiful. Get the other one. I like that. It's silly. It's dancing. You know, like Nax Ramus earlier, the fight with Hagen the Unclean, I think, where you had to kind of dance, in a sense, by going left and right as, like, ground pillars of fire came up. And it was pretty much a one-shot if you got caught by one, or it did damage over time, or if you got hit by one, you were probably going to get hit by the next one. And there were plenty of folks, myself included, who were like, wait, which way are we going? Are we going left or right? And you would just get absolutely bodied by them. It's a lot of fun. A similar vein to that kind of dance thing. It was when we went back to Shadowlands to have a look at Castle Nafria for the first time and do a transmog run. Being the literal dance hall in that one, very different. Actual dancing involved. Very silly. I did for that though. Shadowlands aside, on a more general sense, I can't remember how folks actually found the raids. If you take gearing and everything else and Covenants all out of the equation, in terms of mechanics in the fights, I have to go back and see if any videos were made deep dive in the subject. Do we get him down before he does another dance party? Crap. I bubbled just in case I realised I was late. Oh dear. Just gets people. Messy business. We should be fine now. Should be. Beautiful.
Oh, finally, some quiet. I thought that blowhard would never shut up.
Yeah, it looked like we didn't get any more any other stuff. People can get the Sparks of Fortune, that's nice. I don't know if I've ever seen one of them bloody drop. The Mog. Do I have anything under 626? No, so it is agreed. Or transmog. Oh, there we go. Did that? I didn't pay attention enough. I don't think so. No, it must be a limit for the week. It must be. Right, I think we'll have bio break, and then we'll get that follower dungeon done. But calling it for the morning. Ow. Hello. Snake Eyes, what are you doing? Take that little bit of what, you son of a bitch. Just hit one. 5 more around the corner.
Need a target.
Lovely. Let's get back to Donegal. And we were Banjo-Kazooie level. Big old angry submarine you were swimming around that was just locked in the middle of this very grey room at the time. Alright. Stretch your legs, refill your beverage. I'll be back with you in just a few minutes. I'll see you soon. And we're back. Thank you for your patience. Let's get this follow-up dungeon done. Get a little bit more rep. Oh, and me as I wheel myself back in. Get my headset back on. Which one are we? Cinderbroom Meadery. Need to spend some of my Valor Stones before I forget as well. Could be more than fine clearing this out in our upgraded gear.
Or are you looking for something a little harder? Show 'em what we got on tap, Elraya.
Everybody goes down. We probably pull more of the room. We probably pull all of the room. Possibly. Maybe that's not going to go well for the follower NPCs. We'll see. And they're suffering a little bit, but I think we'll be okay. Bit of off healing and we'll be fine. Yeah, they were all good. All the shiny birdies. Pretty good. Brewmaster.
It's to be a bar fight now. Good. Time for happy hour. I need to get closer. Another one.
Another one.
Another one.
Trying, patron. I'm really trying. It's a silly little mechanic, but I like it.
Time for happy hour.
Oh, again?
Another one.
Top phase so fast. And what are you doing? Chilling up there drinking it yourself? Okay, that's all of them.
That was
Stop it.
last.
Onward. Walking, doing a little bit of a dance.
Are you here to help? My zeal to get back in business led to faulty reasoning.
Your pal here signed some papers he didn't read. And now Goldie Baronbottom is
This
CEO.
was kind of hinting at more goblin stuff coming. Looking back on it.
Please get my meadery back, Outlander.
Very good, we take the whole corridor. Wait, his team. I don't think it matters at the moment. Oh, they're on their way. They'll get there. Beautiful. I'd like to have seen a delve in this meadery. That'd have been fun. Maybe in the basement or something.
I'm out of range.
We did have a lot of caves in the delves. I think that's a point of criticism.
Filters. It's running too hot. The meat will be substandard.
Certainly vary up the environments a little more. I'm thinking into midnight going forward for delves.
More money. That's good business.
Probably maybe one or two based in and around Silvermoon.
My personal directive. My passion.
As long as it's not all just caves, I think it'll be a net positive. Okay, we're gonna have to wait and see. Captain, could you drag them out of the puddles on the ground?
Elemental made of mead. Oh, my cinder brew. Ruby.
Went and pulled the boss.
I cannot process this.
Bins. I'm most curious about what forces are actually going to be fighting with Zartaf. Is it... Because if she's antagonistic to the old gods, right, it's not just going to be a load of old god stuff necessarily from the void. It's going to be other void beings. Depending on where the War of It ends and everything going on with the ethereals.
That meat
Could be a lot more cosmic in nature.
You goody goodies don't know who you're dealing with.
I think there's a lot of possibility space to do more interesting stuff with the void and try and give us a new look at different enemies and characters from that cosmic entity. I'm gonna say faction, but you know. Oh, I pulled a bonus pack. No stinging for you. Lovely jubbly. We're making quick work of this follower dungeon. As you'd expect, I suppose. Now that we're geared up a patch beyond. Just make doing the weekly very quick. I wonder if it would be any quicker doing it on heroic with folks, but I imagine you still would be pulling entire corridor. Well, maybe you would. People are probably doing that beforehand, to be fair. This tends to be the case. I speak too authoritatively on play patterns of folks these days, though, given I don't. I can make assumptions, but...
I'm out of range. My bees! You put them in cages? They should be free gathering
Overdid it just a
pollen in the
little bit.
forest. I need to get more.
We have to lock up your bees. Letting them be free range was too much labor. And their anger and frustration just makes their honey spicier. Right, Bank? Bank!
Booble. Have to be somewhat aware and make sure that all the NPCs don't go down, but I think we're alright for the most part. It's just again wanting them to try and tackle a few more complex mechanics, just to see them. Mr. Busby.
Bust out my bees. The best for my bees. Hot honey coming out. Clap those wings, darling. Who will be the bee's knees?
Them puns.
We should use them to make a beeline to Goldie's office. Come back to the taps to
So
use
many.
them.
So many puns. And I feel like I'm a lot less immediately hostile towards puns than I used to be some years ago.
Take out my bomb there.
Now, my brother has always been a very big fan of
My
constantly
but
pudding.
now you're
Could drive you
riding my
mad.
bees like some nature-loving weirdo. I guess I'm gonna have to show ya and your rock-headed friend who's boss.
These yes men. Shame they didn't have a little bit of voice acting as well. It would have been very silly. From Cursor, absolutely my favourite.
All right, you may have gotten my employees, but now you're dealing with the BEO herself. You won't be taking this meeting from me. Action out.
Shot straight into a barrel. And done.
Risk-averse market.
Beautiful. Now we'll go hand that in. Do some upgrades where we can. Got to spend some of those Valor Stones.
Speak and be
Is that
heard.
rep? Beautiful. Oh, some cosmetics and some Valor Stones. It's a fancy looking Pandaren.
I will do my duty.
See, what can we get away with? More on the sword yet. More of those yet. Do some shoulder pad. Oh no, not that.
Fair skies and strong winds.
Great. Weathers for carved crest.
This
Okay,
world is vast
it's
and
good.
wondrous.
let's just make sure we've done everything we can.
Stay vigilant.
Oh, and again.
I offer you my aid.
Might have maxed out everything we can at the moment. Hi.
Good health to you.
I like this capability of where you get enough, you can start like
We all find what
swapping
we
them
seek.
about.
I can't use that other
Honored to meet you.
Get one more of those.
Until next time.
It's still
Then should let us do a touch more upgrading.
How fare you?
Ah, beautiful. That'll do. Most of our Valor Stones that we can use gets us to 650. It's 8 levels below the delves, so we're probably alright doing them. Let me jump by the auction house and grab some enchants and such. For anything that's like hero level, so we can probably
I have an extended supply.
get away with doing the
goods for
bad hill. Always so
abundance.
expensive for me. Names on here that we got all for Nick. That's Dragon Blight. Bit leech we could do. Any cooldown, anything crazier. Out of combat heal. They want that. I think we just get a bit of leech, to be honest. Our chest piece is champion level, not hero level, so I don't want to overspend, but it might be a while before we get an upgrade. And it's a tier piece as well, to be fair. Well, we've got a decent amount of gold right now. On the wrists. Speed, leech, avoidance. Leech and avoidance again. We need to spend on the crazy one. How much more leech is it? 2004 rather than 2003. That's a big number difference, to be fair. Level on my braces. My braces are hero, so. Alt for gloves. Nape. Alt for the waist. Not here. Sure there were one. Yeah, there we go. This is meant to be done by item level, but they're not. $650 strength. What's the bigger one we can get? 930. $930 in mana. Hitting stamina's probably fine. Beats the marching. Stamina's probably the best shout. It's a champion as well, but again, we're doing alright for gold. We can splash a little bit. This is my highest, so I probably lean into that more. But mastery is just straight up more damage, so I'm going to get 2 of those. I don't know if I can enchant Cersei's ring, but we'll see. The weapon ones. Was the one that shot a lightning bolt, but we probably can do better. Heal. Primary stat's probably just gonna, you know, you're not gonna get better than that, I don't think. Okay. For the sockets. I can't remember how you found Whetstones, yeah, but that's not exactly what we're after. I'm sure there was a socket one we could find somewhere in here, but I think this will do for now.
Return
Give me some valor stones, that's very nice. And the Postmaster got me some other stuff. Something to sell. We definitely did it when we were looking for PvP stuff. There was a PvP one, and then there was another one, but where?
Reasonable.
Misk, maybe? Tool enchants. Wasn't that? I know it was in here somewhere. Probably have to check on my jewel crafter and see if it was something that was on there. Nah, I ain't gonna futz around in the auction house for ages. Let's get ourselves enchanted up. Certainly help us out with tomorrow's tier 11 runs. Here we can do the circlet, very nice. Couple more. Alright, that should make getting to tier 11 tomorrow much more doable. Give us a little bit more of an edge. Just bob my stuff in the wall bank. We'll call it for the morning. Lots of stuff done. Again, it seemed like after 3 wings of LFR, the renown track for the gallagio was kind of maxed out at that point for the week. At least that's what it felt like. I have to get my enchanter going through these again at some point. Token! Beautiful. Fancy transmog. Alright then folks, I will say, with that, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed yourselves, don't forget to hit that like button, help push the video through the algorithm, so more folks can come hang out and enjoy some games with us. Subscribe for more content here on the channel. On the weekdays we're at 9 AM GMT with World of Warcraft, and between 4 and 6 in the evening we start up games then. Currently going through Kill Night. We just completed the game on the normal difficulty. We're going to be ramping that up to the highest one this evening and see what fresh hells await. And you can find playlists to all the games we've already covered right here on the channel to binge to your heart's content. So until next time folks, much love, take care, and bye bye.